Okay, let's begin the briefing. Operator Eugene Solano, I'll be keeping you up to date. We've got news that an invading LASAT squadron has just taken off from the Puna Plains, en route for an attack on our position, Aubrey Base. From their perspective, this attack is the final nail in our collective coffin. After all, this is the only base that hasn't fallen under their control. I guess we can consider ourselves lucky. It looks like the enemy has gotten a little overconfident and sent only a small attack force. Griffith Squadron, prepare for launch immediately. Fly around the mountains and avoid enemy radar. Oh, I forgot. The enemy squadron consists mainly of bombers supported by several fighters. Please protect this base and destroy the enemy bombers. If everything goes well, we should be able to get the upper hand on the enemy in this area. All right, please prepare for launch. Let's pay back the LASAT forces with at least one defeat. One final thing. During combat, my codename will be Crux. I will keep you up to date on the battle situation, so please pay attention to your radio.
think it is? It's an SWBM! Get out of here, now! We should do! Where's it coming from? How far is it? It's no use! We're too late! Griffiths 2! Come in, Griffiths 2! Griffiths 2! Griffiths 3! Anyone!
The mission was a success. The destruction of the enemy bombers will help keep an enemy invasion of Aubrey Base at bay. However, we also suffered serious losses. There's no way anyone could ever call this mission a success. I'm sorry.
Let this be a symbol of the fury borne by our countrymen towards Aurelia.
Such was the impassioned speech of Lesath's commander Diego Gaspar Navarro, as images of the Aurelian squadron's destruction over Cape Aubrey played in the background. A day later, his gravelly voice continued to echo through my hungover brain. October. 1 year after the cessation of the Democratic Republic of Lesath's civil war. After the Civil War, Lesath began to set their sights on their peaceful neighbor, the Federal Republic of Aurelia, claiming retribution for years of exploitation. The invasion suddenly began. With the ever-present threat of the cloaked airborne fortress Gleipnir looming overhead, there was little time to react to the few concerns raised about the validity of the war. Such was the speed at which all of Aurelia fell under Lesath's control. Well, not everything has fallen into their hands, but it's only a matter of time. Looking out over the capital, Gaius Tower is both home to Lesath's Central Command and the very symbol of its power. It was originally intended to be a symbol of Aurelia's peace. How ironic. As I looked up at the sun traveling the same old path across the sky, the rays burned my tired eyes. Damn it. I just wish I could finish covering this completely one-sided war and head back home. I'll never get used to being in the southern hemisphere with its backwards seasons.
The Gleipnir was last confirmed heading southeast across the Puna Plains. However, we lost all trace of it shortly after. Unfortunately, Aurelia's information network can provide no further details at this time. We'll just have to take what we can get. The airborne fortress Gleipnir nearly wiped out our entire attack force. Even with you, sir, our remaining aerial attack strength is severely limited. We no longer have the necessary manpower or supplies to pursue Gleipnir. In addition, there are reports of enemy forces gathering at Port Patterson. If we don't move soon, it will only be a matter of time before they attack from behind. Given the situation, we are left with only one plan of attack. On the Puna Plains lying between Aubrey Base and Port Patterson, Lesath forces have hastily constructed a resupply base to house the large quantity of supplies needed to support their troops. Attack Puna Base. Destroy all parked bombers and base facilities. Take away the enemy's ability to fight. If you succeed, we'll gain an important foothold for an attack on Port Patterson. And what's more, we'll gain the supplies we need to win this fight. Unless we succeed in taking this base, that's it for our supplies. Please don't fail, sir.
Just go to base. We're taking enemy fire. Request reinforcements immediately. Request reinforcements immediately. It'll take some time. We need time to launch. Hold on until reinforcements arrive. Hurry up! If they don't get here soon, there'll be nothing left of this base but a pile of rubble.
Your altitude is too low. Pull up. Your altitude is too low. Pull up.
Missile defeated. Out of fire! We've been here too!
Your altitude is too low. Pull up. Your altitude is too low. Pull up.
Retreat! Abandon the facility! Retreat! There's nothing more we can do here. Escape! Escape? There aren't any viable planes left! So you'd better start running! Evasive maneuver successful! The mission was a success!
Retreating LASAF forces have abandoned Puna base. The base, including all provisions stored there, now belong to us. Now we'll be able to provide backup support for our troops. The battle to retake Port Patterson is about to begin. Our scattered forces have come together for this battle. They're few in number, but we've managed to assemble a small ground force. However, the LASAF fleet continues to gather in Port Patterson, and the presence of the Transportation Corps has also been confirmed. Having lost Puna base, it appears LASAF now intends to shuttle in troops and supplies overseas. If any more ships dock at Port Patterson, enemy strength will become more than our ground troops can handle. In order to prevent this, we need you to launch a preliminary strike on Port Patterson. Destroy all enemy supply vessels, landing ships, and freighters. In particular, try to keep as many enemy landing ships from entering the port as possible. Battle supplies must not reach the enemy. The number of enemy landing ships inside the port will be displayed on the MPG in the upper right-hand corner of your HUD. If the MPG reaches the max level, our forces will no longer be able to retake Fort Patterson. This time, a substantial enemy counterattack is to be expected. It seems the loss of Puna Base has put them on guard. Please be careful.
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck. To Griffith 1. Check your MPG on the right side of the HUD. The MPG will display the number of landing ships from the port. Please pay careful attention to the MPG during this mission. So, you're Griffith 1, huh? I'm Major Berkman, Ground Force Commander. There are landing ships within the enemy fleet. We'll lose the battle if a battalion is allowed to make it ashore. Do not allow more than 3 landing ships to enter the port. We'll be risking our necks out here with you. Let's take back Fort Patterson. Oh, wait, I got something on radar. Put the city on high alert. I don't want to see so much as a kitten out on those streets. Just make sure that bridge is raised. I'm not gonna let him think I'm here. AA guns destroyed. Enemy ship destroyed. Hull breach in Area 3. Close the hatch. We're gonna sink. Nice, I got it. Guns destroyed. Enemy ship destroyed. All right, Cricket, won it!
Central weapon fire level low.
Enemy planes approaching. Somebody help us!
No central weapon fire remains.
Enemy freighter destroyed. Bridge control room to base command. Commence raising of the bridge. This is the 5th Amphibious Unit. We're about to enter the port. We'll be able to acquire supplies after entering the port. Just head for the bridge.
Your altitude is too low. Pull up.
Enemy aircraft destroyed.
We've succeeded in destroying the enemy fleet gathered in Port Patterson. Our ground troops scored a major victory by using the chaos caused by our attack to storm in and secure the port. We freed Port Patterson from the hands of the enemy. It's still kind of hard to believe.
The emblem of the Southern Cross. It was on that very day that the aircraft bearing the mark of the Southern Hemisphere brought about the defeat of Laysath forces. But the story barely made the news, and the army showed no apparent reaction. Almost nightly, Laysath's commanding officer, Diego Gaspar Navarro, plays host to grand banquets within Gaia's Tower. This evening, he is once again proudly trumpeting the glory of his airborne fortress. I've heard the speech so many times, it feels like I wrote it. Which, in a way, is a good thing, because it lets me concentrate on enjoying the food instead. As I gazed out the window at the night sky, I felt as if even the phases of the moon were somehow at odds with those of the Northern Hemisphere. The words of a fellow reporter, who fancied himself a connoisseur of fine wine, really got me thinking about the price of the glass of wine in my hand. One glass of it is roughly equivalent to several years of a Laysathian citizen's salary. Haven't the long years of civil war left Laysath an impoverished and war-torn nation? Whatever the case, much is unclear about the flow of money in Laysath. Ever since I arrived here, I've only covered stories the military had approved. However, this particular mystery just might be worth investigating on my own. The idea was nothing more than the product of an idle mind. At least at the time.
Okay, let's get started with a report of the situation. I think our best option under the circumstances would be to head towards Santa Elva. Santa Elva is a strategic location that we have to pass through to get to the capital, Griswold. However, there are several other strategic points on the way to Santa Elva. Which points you choose and in what order you do so is up to you. It looks like your decisions will affect the course of this battle. I know it's an immense responsibility, but there's no one else to count on. We're relying on you to get us through this. It appears that the enemy's Miller unit is gathering at Kings Hill. It looks like they're trying to take back Port Patterson. I wonder what they're up to. Next, we have reports that the Allied Davis unit is cut off at Stand Canyon. Gleipnir took off from Puna Base and is currently standing by at Terminus Island. With the long strike range of the Gleipnir, there's not much our forces can do. It appears that the enemy is moving towards Stand Canyon to eliminate our remaining forces. We'll need those remaining forces in our attack on Santa Elva, so I think we should probably send help. If left alone, they'll be helpless against the aerial fortress, just like what happened to us at Cape Aubrey. Also, Santa Elva is a key location for the enemy, and I think they'll concentrate their forces there. We'll have major problems if they send in their aerial fortress. I'll give you more details once you decide on a route. Please tell me which route you plan to take. Laysath's Miller unit is meeting up at Kings Hill. Based on the sheer strength of the enemy force, an offensive aimed at retaking Port Patterson appears imminent. A partially completed highway runs directly from Kings Hill straight into the heart of Port Patterson. The enemy intends to use this highway to swiftly spearhead its way through our defenses. Their ground forces must be destroyed if Port Patterson is to remain ours. Our soldiers are in a precarious position. If they are attacked now, they will have no choice but to abandon the port. One more thing. On the highway leading to Port Patterson, there is a tunnel. If an enemy tank makes it to the tunnel, it will be beyond the reach of any air assault. If even one enemy tank enters the tunnel, our mission will fail. Please make sure this doesn't happen.
Highway to cover their movement. The location is well concealed, making it impossible to identify from the air. Wait for enemy vehicles to leave the rendezvous point, then strike. Protect the tunnel entrance at all costs. If an enemy gets inside, it's all over.
We've succeeded in preventing the Miller unit from invading Port Patterson. Laysath forces are in retreat. Let's hope they've learned their lesson and think twice before trying to take Port Patterson again. Allied ground forces are stranded at Stan Canyon. They are members of the Davis unit, who were en route to an assault on Santa Elva when they were cut off from the main force. The Santa Elva offensive could use their support, and we can hardly leave them for dead. However, Laysath has already begun mobilizing a search and destroy operation. It's only a matter of time before the Davis unit is wiped out. I think we should launch a strike now and save as many of our troops as we can. Although the area of attack is within range of Gleipnir's SWBM, the very same weapon that devastated our squadron. By implementing shielding and flying low through the canyon, it should be possible to avoid an attack by the SWBM. In the event that Gleipnir should attack, stay below the rim of the canyon, or less than 2,400 feet.
This is the Davis unit. Is backup on its way? Blitz's squadron is on the way right now. Try your best to hold out until they arrive. Understood. No problem. We can still put up a fight. Casualties to the Davis unit will be displayed on your MPT. The Davis unit will be defeated when the gauge reaches max. Here they come! Prepare to fire! Keep the enemy attack helicopters away from the Allied ground forces. The canyon narrows near the bridge. Please be careful. They don't stand a chance against the enemy's anti-tank missiles. Storm! What? The Southern Cross was able to fly a fighter through this middle space? Enemy aircraft sighted. Likely the backup for the ground forces. Don't sweat it. We've got the Glacier covering us. They've come. Help has come. This is the Davis unit. The enemy is converging on our position. Please, hurry!
He took care of the enemy in no time!
Airborne fortress missile launched. Estimated time to impact, 20 seconds. Stay below 2,400 feet. Hurry!
Aircraft damaged.
They're right above me! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Is everything alright? You're still airborne, right? I'm sorry. I just can't get the events of the previous SWBM attack out of impact, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Stay inside the canyon or you'll get hit by the shockwave. You'd be a fool to be shot down by your own weapon. Enemy fire overhead! Watch out for the guys above us! Destruction of target confirmed. Commencing evacuation of Davis unit.
We've succeeded in rescuing the Davis unit from the enemy onslaught. The men express their gratitude for rescuing them, sir. This victory has also allowed us to begin formalizing a strategy for the recapture of Santa Elva. The Gleipnir has moved from Terminus Island to Santa Elva. They are making preparations to defend the city as we speak. With the loss of Stand Canyon, defending Santa Elva probably took priority over using the SWBM to support their troops. Terminus Island is home to both vital Aurelian oil fields and the Gleipnir's hangar. Intelligence has informed us that an Aurelian scientist is being held captive within this facility. It's highly likely that he has obtained invaluable information on the Gleipnir, and more importantly, he is a fellow Aurelian who must be rescued. The Allied submarine Naiad will be used in his rescue. In order to draw the enemy's attention from the Naiad, the Allied fleet will engage in a diversionary operation. Our duty will be to protect the fleet. The enemy is expected to launch anti-submarine aircraft. Although our main objective is to protect the diversionary fleet, we must also ensure the safety of the Naiad. If you confront any anti-submarine aircraft, take them out as soon as possible.
This is the Naiad. We will be approaching the target shortly. Make sure to draw the enemy's attention your way. This is the cruiser to Arthur. Understood. We'll make sure they know we're here. Do it your best. We read you loud and clear. Clutch to Griffith 1. Demonstrator light fleet will be displayed on the MPG. The Naiad will We're getting new readings on radar. A large number of aircraft have taken off from a nearby enemy base. Naiad! Maintain your present course! You've got to make it out of there! It's no use! An iceberg is blocking their path! All pilots, do something about that iceberg! The Naiad is stuck on a collision course! Crux to Princess Squadron. The distance between the Naiad and the iceberg will be displayed on the MPG. Destroy the iceberg before the Naiad collides with it.
mission was a success. The Naiad has returned to port safe and sound. Thanks to the recon data from the Naiad, we've started to make some sense of the Gleipnir stealth system. It'll take some time to fully analyze the data, but it looks like there might be a way to partially shut down the stealth system. This information may help us gain the upper hand in our battle against the Gleipnir. Allied ground forces have finished preparations for an assault on Santa Elva. They're the same troops we rescued from Stand Canyon. The mission will be to recapture Santa Elva, a vital transportation route. If we succeed in retaking the city, our capital Griswold will be within reach. Analysis of the SWBM attack at Cape Aubrey has shown that the shockwave of the missile dissipates before reaching ground level. Therefore, an assault by our ground forces has a much higher probability of succeeding. The mission can commence at any time. The Gleipnir has troubled Aurelia long enough. The time has come to drive it out.
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck.
This is reconnaissance. Something's wrong. The enemy is nowhere to be found.
No sign of the Gleipnir.
Nothing? That's impossible. Damn, Lyseth. What are they up to? What's that sound?
Look! It's the Gleipnir!
Don't just stand there. Attack! Target the Gleipnir!
Commence cannon fire! Hit it with everything we've got!
The SWBM can't reach us here, but watch out for conventional ordnance.
Look! The disc on the bottom is starting to blow! What's he doing?
The vehicles below the Gleipnir were just vaporized.
What on earth is that? That's the Gleipnir!
Our ground forces are strong enough to handle it on their own? I don't think so. I can't believe they've made such a terrifying weapon. Sir, Griffith 1, it appears the enemy has some kind of new super weapon. If the Allied ground forces are defeated, we won't be able to maintain our military presence. Casualties to the Allied ground forces will be displayed on your MPG. Protect them and keep the gauge from reaching max. All ground forces have withdrawn from Santa Elva. Understood. Now we can destroy those vile Aurelians with our shock cannon.
Solid. Increase out.
It's too dangerous below the Great Pier. Change altitude as soon as you see any sign that it's about to fire. Optical camouflage system critical! The system won't hold! Alright! You're coming, Wall! We're sending ducks up here! Can somebody do something? It's no use! Damn it! It's time to use an SWBM! I don't care if we sustain a little damage. I want that Southern Cross blown out of the sky! Roger, SWBM standing by! They'll be ready to launch shortly! Pest, it's time you met your maker! The Great Pier is launched in SWBM! We think it's the same as the one used at Cape Aubrey! It's too dangerous to fly at high altitude. Try to stay lower than the Great Pier! Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Airborne Fortress, missile launched. Estimated time to impact, 15 seconds. Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Airborne Fortress, missile launched. Estimated time to impact, 15 seconds. Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds.
Aircraft ready.
Airborne Fortress, missile launched. Estimated time to impact, 15 seconds.
Special weapon fire running low.
Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds.
All SWBM launching ports have been destroyed! Damn it! Smoke's pouring into the bridge! Engine 6 is on fire! Floor is falling! We can maintain altitude!
Command, I regret to inform that we will not be able to complete the mission. It's time the Southern Cross saw the true face of Lisa's might! Prepare the shot cannon! The airborne fortress is changing course. It's descending towards the city. Oh no! They intend to use the shot cannon on the city! Griffith 1! Countdown to shot cannon fire will be displayed on your MPG. Destroy the shot cannon before it fires. All surviving ground forces, head for the riverbank! We're gonna fill that beast full of lead! The lives of thousands are at stake. You must destroy the cannon.
No special weapon fire remaining.
The airborne fortress is 10 miles from the city. It's no good! Even from behind, I can't seem to get a straight shot! Miles to the city. The Great Pier is finished.
We've succeeded in destroying the Gleipnir, as well as taking back Santa Elva. The Santa Elva victory is fantastic news. But even more so, the defeat of the Gleipnir is sure to boost morale and give us a strategic advantage in this war. Luck was certainly on our side though. With all of that raining debris, it's amazing the city sustained so little damage.
Unthinkable! The chatter of the nightly parties fell into silence. In place of the sumptuous banquet, weapons to protect the capital were rolled in. Griswold is in turmoil over the shocking news, but who would have thought that underneath the chaos lay an even greater story? Aurelia's exploitation of Leysath was all a ruse. In fact, Aurelia had been Leysath's largest benefactor in aid. The truth remained hidden from the public, while any aid meant for food was spent on arms. Why did this happen? Why was a lavish party held to boast the performance of their newest weapon? The trail of money surrounding Diego Navarro would lead me to the answer. Diego Navarro is not only Leysath's commanding officer, but also controls their arms industry. He has used continued conflict as a means to amass an enormous fortune. This war was conceived as a replacement for the Civil War to further increase arms sales. I can't help but wonder how much of this truth the soldiers risking their lives for Leysath really know. The classified documents contained much more than just information on the airborne fortress. The transfer of financial revenue and commodities were also recorded in great detail. What does all of this have to do with Leysath's commanding officer Diego Navarro? Even after all that's happened, why does he still seem so naturally at ease? I've unwittingly found myself fearing for the safety of the Southern Cross.
All right, let me brief you on the main locations on the route to Griswold. Sir, please choose a route. First, remnant enemy soldiers are regrouping at the Kalana Steps and are planning an attack on Santa Elva. They currently aren't a threat, but we're curious as to what they're planning. I guess we're not much different from them in size or strength. The enemy Special Forces Skilla unit has set up camp at Sachana Air Base. They're not a squad you want to take on directly, but they're currently busy preparing to send reinforcements to the Kalana Steps. This might be the perfect time to catch them off guard. It appears that Leysath forces are shipping supplies to a large-scale manufacturing plant in Montebriz. It seems that they're manufacturing something, but there is a large radar facility close by on Mount Nevera. The Nevera jammer is located there, and we're unable to monitor their movements. The jamming extends as far as Griswold, so we need to do something about it. Although we really need to find out what's going on at Montebriz as well. Our capital is not far ahead. However, Griswold is heavily fortified and protected by the Mezim cannon. Fierce resistance is expected, but we must pull together and take back Griswold. We are planning a surprise attack to recapture our country's largest airbase, the Sachana Air Base. The base, with its large supply warehouses, is a crucial strategic point, as well as a vital supply channel. By securing Sachana Air Base, our forces will gain a necessary staging point for a combined Allied assault on the capital. At present, the Leysath Air Force is grounded, but they're mobilizing to aid ground forces fighting on the Kalana Steps. The Skilla unit is also rumored to be stationed at Sachana Air Base. They are an elite team, highly skilled in anti-aircraft tactics. A head-on confrontation must be avoided at all costs. Therefore, we have devised a plan to penetrate deep into enemy territory and strike while their attention is still focused on the Kalana Steppes. A sweeping radar net lies between here and Sachana Air Base. However, by flying at an altitude of 1,300 feet, you should be able to make it through undetected. A sudden and precise strike on the base will greatly increase our chances of winning without risking a head-on confrontation.
Avoid flying over enemy patrol boats on the river or you'll be spotted. Destroy them before that happens. Also, be sure to fly below 1,300 feet. Keep an eye on your HUD and avoid the enemy radar net. Patrol boats, report. This is Patrol. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's a quiet night. My patrol is over. You say that again, I'm gonna die of boredom real soon. There's so many boats out on the water, no one could ever slip through. Huh? What's that? What, the enemy? My mistake. It was just a reflection of the tower searchlight on the water. Really is a great spot. Wish we could do a little fishing on a break. Once the damn Aurelians are taken care of, you can fish all you want. But until then, you'll just have to wait. Crux to Griffith 1. You've cleared the enemy radar net. Now get in there and attack the base. I said, enemy attack? I don't know. We're investigating now. Oh, it's a radar. Nothing so far? Nothing on the radar. Send out an intercept squadron. How many planes? I don't know. I'm not even sure we're being attacked. Are you? Yes. Griffith 1, begin landing checks. You're clear to land. Touchdown. 2 miles to touchdown. 1 mile to touchdown. You're on the money. You're coming in too fast. Slow down. Perfect, sir. Stand by and prepare for your next sortie.
The surprise attack was a success. Sachana Air Base is back in our hands. Air power from the base will be a vital asset, especially in the battle to retake Griswold. I have the feeling the day of our capital's liberation is not far off. We have obtained intelligence that Laysath forces on the Kalana Steppes are increasing by the hour. With the Sachana Air Base in our hands, Laysath has abandoned its Air Force dispatch. However, the enemy is concentrating ground troops near these ruins and appears to be preparing to attack Santa Elva. Ignoring this threat could prove to be costly later on. It would be best to take action now and be rid of this threat once and for all. The presence of special forces within their ranks has also been confirmed. If enemy special forces are allowed to make their way inside Santa Elva, the situation could turn ugly.
be fooled by their numbers. It's limited. All troops move out. Get the Santa Elva together. Don't worry about a few casualties. Just concentrate on the mission. Don't make yourselves a target. this one.
Enemy ground forces have been all but wiped out. For the time being, we can turn our attention away from the Kalana steppes and towards more pressing matters. Several members of the Special Forces were among the soldiers who surrendered, and we were able to gain invaluable intel about their mission objectives. Had they succeeded in infiltrating Santa Elva and carrying out their mission, the city could have been in a terrible situation. It's good to see you made it back, sir. LASAP has taken advantage of Mount Nevera's height and built a large-scale jamming station known as the Nevera Jammer, with enough power to effectively blanket the capital and all surrounding areas. The station is also blocking our ability to observe enemy activity in Monte Breeze. Responsibility for taking care of the jamming station before it further interferes with the war effort has fallen into our hands. An array of high-performance SAMs and AA guns provide the Nevera Jammer with a formidable defense. The high-performance SAMs are difficult to avoid, even for the most advanced aircraft. You're done for the second you fly within range. ECM pods are of no use here either. The high-performance AA guns are also capable of shooting bombs and even long-range missiles out of the sky. We must first deal with this threat before we can move in for an attack on the jamming facility itself. Therefore, we must destroy the electric power transmitter that is providing them with energy. The location of this transmitter remains unknown, but a string of old power lines on Mount Nevera may just point the way. The transmitter's power output will be displayed on your HUD. Make sure the power output is at 0 before moving in to attack the jammer. We've destroyed the Nevera jammer and freed up the airwaves. Now we have a clear view of Griswold and Monte Breeze. We've succeeded in ending radar interference from Mount Nevera. This has allowed us to get a clear picture of Monte Breeze. LASAF forces have produced a new type of weapon and are making preparations to transport it to Griswold. Although the advance unit has already reached the capital, there's still time to stop the backup units. Citizen morale is at an all-time high, with liberation corps forming throughout the country, all thanks to your heroic deeds, sir. Our beloved Aurelia, shattered by the LASAF assault, is struggling to once again become one. We must not let them down. With the destruction of the Nevera jammer, we have been able to ascertain the extent of enemy action here in Monte Breeze. This area is littered with industrial complexes which LASAF appears to have refitted as weapons plants to manufacture something of great importance. Transport units have also shown a lot of recent activity. When the Nevera jammer was destroyed, they abandoned the operation, taking everything with them. It seems that they have also rigged the factories with explosives in order to hide what went on there. There is no doubt that whatever they made, it was important. We must shoot down all transport aircraft and put an end to whatever the enemy is plotting.
remaining transport aircraft will be displayed on your HUD. Make sure you destroy them all. Is that it for the cargo? Alright, let's get out of here. The enemy isn't far from here. Let's take explosives set. No problem. Landmines and explosives set. Update. An uprising of Aurelian citizens has broken out nearby. We have reports that they are en route to the East Factory to acquire weapons. Civilians on the battlefield? Bunch of fools. We must retreat to our northeast area of operation as soon as possible. We can't let them stop us. Prepare the device. Inform the others. Aurelian fighters are coming. Move it. What the hell was that? Be careful. They got one hell of a weapon stashed on board. Yeah, we finished most of the job by himself. Crush that tower, right? Affirmative. The mission was a success. Excuse me, hold on a second. What's wrong? Something happened? Bad news. The Operation Course train is heading for the factory.
Testing. Soldiers of Lasath, can you hear us? We are the Aurelian Liberation Corps. You've had your way long enough. Prepare to see just how dangerous we Aurelians can be.
Danger! Withdraw immediately! Can you hear me? Leave the area immediately!
Hey, do you think they can hear us? There's no response at all.
I hacked into the Army's communications. You gotta switch to incoming transmissions or you'll never pick up anything.
Well, it doesn't really matter, as long as they hear us. All right, we're heading for the factories. We'll steal additional weapons before heading for the capital.
Yeah! Stop the train! The factories are rigged with explosives! Crux to Griffith Squadron. The Liberation Corps doesn't know the factories are rigged with explosives. The distance from the nearest factory to the Liberation Corps will be displayed on your MPT. Protect the Liberation Corps. Destroy the factories along the railway before the train gets too close. Onward! Onward! We'll steal Lace's weapons and use them to take back Griswold! We'll show Laces just how pissed we really are! Warning! Stop the train and leave the area! Do you read me? Stop the train! Just as I thought, it's no use, they can't hear us! Yahoo! That might is one of our guys, isn't it? Hey! Give us a lift, will ya? a well-deserved breather.
They were trying to escape with MBSRs. Apparently, they were used to intensify the meson cannon's beam. Unfortunately, several units have already been delivered. Thankfully, we intervened before the rest could be used. In any case, the Aurelian Liberation Corps really took me by surprise. They say too much knowledge can be a dangerous thing, and boy were they right. Still, I'm just glad they made it through without any casualties. Our mission is the liberation of Griswold. I'll explain the details. Griswold is protected by the Atmos Ring-powered meson cannon. Our troops will not be able to approach the city because of the MBSRs brought in from Montpellier. Our only hope is to send a small squadron of fighters in for a surprise attack and take out the cannon. Fortunately, the enemy has put all of their faith in the cannon and has yet to deploy ground troops. Destroy the meson cannon and the fighters protecting it, and the city is ours. The capital's liberation is finally within our grasp. Sir, please decide the course of action.
Ring in the Gaius Tower.
Makes me sick. Look at them, acting like they own the place.
Ninox 2, you're too far ahead. Please stay on alert.
Damn it! We're so close. If it weren't for that cannon, we'd be in already.
Wait! I'm getting readings from the meson cannon. Ninox 2's been shut down.
Meson Cannon's force is multiplied by the MBSRs.
What on earth is that? There's no way we can get any closer than this! Watch out! That thing's a monster! The power of the MBSR enhanced meson cannon far exceeds anything we ever imagined. Cannon. 8 turrets remaining. Here he comes. Dodge this. Damn, the beam doesn't reach any further than the outer road. Alright, Ian, just let him have it. Meson cannon. 7 turrets remaining. Number 1 cannon destroyed. He's here, isn't it? Is he for real? Doesn't he know what this beam can do? Number 3 destroyed. Meson cannon, 5 remaining. Rebels 1, the beam firing time has lengthened. With fewer cannons, there's more energy for each burst. Meson cannon, 4 remaining. That's it, only a few left. Crux to Griffith 1. He's too fast. Tracking can't keep up. range of the cannon's beam is limited. Missile defeated. Where's backup?
Griswold's been liberated. With the loss of their central command, Laysath forces have begun to pull out of Aurelia. The streets of Griswold are overflowing with citizens celebrating the defeat of the Laysath oppressors. Even soldiers have joined in the celebration. Sir, the people won't soon forget your brave actions that led us here. We've done it, sir.
With each passing day, news of new Aurelian victories came pouring in. The Southern Cross's action spurred the surviving Aurelian troops to battle. Commanding Officer Diego Navarro has retreated and is currently being pursued by Special Forces. No one would have guessed that a ragtag band of soldiers smaller than a single unit could have put up such fierce resistance. December 10th, several days after the liberation of Griswold, I made my way towards one of the mini-cities busy recovering from the ravages of the war. Despite my usual misgivings, I could feel myself getting excited at the prospect of meeting the Southern Cross. But when I reached the base, I saw his emblem already gleaming in the skies above. I had heard that today was their first break in a while, but something must have changed that. I merely watched as the jet's contrail stretched far off into the distant sky. Suddenly, I was overcome by a strong sense of dread. The misappropriated financial and material resources were on a scale much greater than the airborne fortress alone could account for. Would the weapon at Griswold prove to be the missing piece to the puzzle?
I have an updated situation report. The forces hunting Laysath Commander Diego Navarro have been decimated at the Danern Straits. It appears that Laysath has developed a new type of attack aircraft. I can't believe they had a working prototype from the aerial fortress. Sorry, back to the report. The new attack aircraft is named Fenrir, according to Laysath reports. From the satellite intel gathered, it appears that the aircraft took off from Sentry Island. We received information from intelligence services that there appears to be a factory on the island. There are 2 routes to Sentry Island. First, Laysath has a squadron of ace pilots, the Alex Squadron, situated near the Danern Straits. They are currently headed for Sentry Island. If a pilot of that caliber were to pilot the new craft, we would have a lot of trouble on our hands. Another route is Cobalt Cave, the location of enemy research facilities. It is believed that they are preparing to move some sort of weapon. We don't know the details, but it is most likely a weapon to mount to Fenrir. The ace pilots and the unknown weapon are both major concerns, but we can only deal with one of these threats. You must stop whatever Laysath has planned. You are about to enter Laysath territory. We don't have much intel to go on, but you need to decide how to proceed. We have learned that Laysath is using Cobalt Cave to secretly conduct tests on a new weapon. Intelligence states that the weapon is to be mounted to the Special Assault Aircraft Fenrir. It appears that Laysath got wind of our movements and is moving the operation to Archelon Fortress. We don't exactly know much about this weapon, but we need to put an end to its development ASAP. Simply destroying the transport frigates won't suffice. You must also destroy all warehouses on the island. We've been warned, however, that the warehouses are loaded with explosive chemicals. Fly up and out as soon as you hit a warehouse, or you'll be caught in the ensuing explosion. During the mission, Allied amphibious units will be deployed to the island to gather intel for the upcoming assault on Archelon Fortress.
Alert to Griffith Squadron. Stop the enemy freighters before they escape over the eastern border. Don't get caught up in the explosion when destroying the warehouses. We don't know how large they'll be yet. Griffith 1! The warehouses are surrounded by several small islands, making them difficult to hit from long range. However, there's also an increased danger of being caught in the explosion, so
We succeeded in preventing the delivery of LASAF's new experimental weapon, as well as destroying their research facility. The Allied landing force has apprehended an enemy scientist who is seeking asylum. He has informed us that the cargo LASAF attempted to fly off Cobalt Cave was in fact a microwave weapon of some kind. To think that they were able to develop such a device. It's a good thing we interrupted the delivery before it was too late. The Ace Alex squadron has moved from the Danern Straits to Archelon Fortress. There is no doubt they were sent there to intercept us. Reinforcements from LASAF were also sent. It appears they've just arrived at the Danern Straits. LASAF has deployed multiple air and naval units to defend against our assault on Archelon Fortress. Our military satellites have already confirmed large-scale aerial movement. The LASAF fleet is also thought to be heading there via the Danern Straits. The fleet will pose an immeasurable threat to our attack plans if it is not immediately stopped. I highly recommend attacking now, before the fleet arrives at Archelon Fortress.
Multiple ships straight ahead. You'll be coming up on them shortly. This is Falcon 1. I always wanted to fly with you. My son's a big fan of yours. Well, me too. Enemy aircraft coming from the stern. Brilliant! Call back the advanced fleet. Sometimes they're coming. There's so many of them. In the 10 years I've been flying, I've never been in such a massive air sea battle. Forget worry, Archelon Fortress. We'll decide this here and now. Scramble all aircraft, and every last one of them. Enemy aircraft are taking off on the carrier.
have successfully prevented the LASAT fleet from docking at Archelon Fortress. It was a difficult battle, but we've weakened the enemy's hold over the fort. Archelon Fortress is the final obstacle standing between us and total victory, sir. We've advanced within striking distance of Archelon Fortress. Fenrir, the whole reason they started this war is being made right here on this base. It's our duty to wipe this base clear off the map. We've received information that LASAP's elite Alex squadron is now stationed within the fortress. Fenrir's superior combat capabilities and optical camouflage, combined with the skills of LASAP's elite ace pilot, make this threat too dangerous to approach head-on. Disabling the optical camouflage is our only chance for success. A LASAP scientist we apprehended at the facility on Cobalt Cave has informed us that, due to Fenrir's compact size, it must rely on microwaves emitted from the nearby base's electrical transmitter to power its optical camouflage. The same forces that fought alongside us at Cobalt Cave will make sure the gate to the electrical transmitter is opened. If you succeed in destroying the facility, you should be able to handle Fenrir just like any other fighter. We don't have much time to pull this off, so make sure you're there when the gate is opened. Sir, we've succeeded in freeing Aurelia. The war should have already been over for us. But someone has to put an end to this. Just make sure you come back alive.
As I wrote down the words that would reveal the truth to the world, I couldn't help but feel uneasy. It said that the only true winners in any war are those who achieve what they intended. Diego Navarro had left Aurelia's capital in defeat, yet his goal of increasing arms exports had been achieved. It seemed as though he may be the true victor in this war. After returning to his homeland, it appears that he now plans to unveil the ultimate weapon before his countrymen. Satellite images of the Archelon Fortress will provide the backdrop for his speech to the world. Such audacity must come from his confidence in this ultimate weapon, Fenrir. There's no such thing as a foolproof plan, I whispered to myself as I watched the sun slowly wheel across the sky overhead. Even the country's hero, still in the heat of battle, hadn't returned home for the celebration of victory. The Southern Cross will ensure Navarro's plan ends in failure. Ain't that right?
To all aircraft, this is likely to be our final sortie. Unlike you, fighting on the front lines, I stay behind and watch the battle through my monitor. I'm in no position to ask anything from you, but please allow me this one request. End this war and come back home to Aurelia. That is all.
This is Aquila 1. Roger that. We need to make certain that nothing like this ever happens again. Isn't that right, Southern Cross?
Our lives are in your hands, Southern Cross. Lead the way.
We've got a reading on radar. Multiple targets. Aurelian fighters confirmed. Send out the Alex squadron. Affirmative. Alex 1,
Hurry! We can't keep the gate open forever! Hurry up and fire! The Southern Cross destroyed the energy transmitter! Fenrir's covered that road! Cross to Griffith 1. You did it! Fenrir's camouflage has been disabled! He's in plain view! Now's your chance! Landing unit here. Understood. Griffith 1 back another one! Missile defeated. Help me! He's right behind me! That's the wrong target! I can't get him off me! Landing unit, we've arrived at the front gate. All right, it opened! What's that? Oh, crap! It's Fenrir! And there's a pilot inside! He's taking off! We can't go after him. Take care of him for us. The amphibious unit has opened Arkalon Fortress's front gate. There are still working Fenrirs inside. If we let even one escape, they're sure to take data from this battle back to Laysac. If that happens, then this war will truly never end. Enter the fortress, take down and destroy Fenrir. This is the landing unit. Sorry we couldn't deal with him ourselves. Go get him for us. Oh no, the gate is going to close! The Southern Cross will be trapped inside! We have no choice, we must withdraw! We leave it up to you to end this! Fenrir inside! Contact fire! Protect the control system! No, it's no good. The fire extinguishing system is out. Use whatever you can find. Put the fire out. They have the future depends on it. Always I go this place! There's nothing we can do! It's too big! The flames are spreading! God, it's spread all the way in here! The future of our country is destroyed, all because of one single planet. We're all just burst in the flames! It's too late! We gotta...
Griffith 1! Griffith 1! Come in! Sir! There he is! Griffith 1!
Unbelievable. He destroyed that entire fortress.
He did it! Yeah!
That's our ace. If the door hadn't closed, I could have been the one to destroy the fortress.
Give me a break. Like there's any way you could have made it through there.
Whatever.
Crux to Griffith 1. Good to see you're all right. I thought for a second you were caught in the explosion. Our victory wouldn't be a celebration without you, sir. When you think about it, you can't help but feel sorry for Laysath's soldiers. They were nothing but pawns in Navarro's sick game. Well, it's finally over, isn't it?
Archelon and Diego Navarro's beloved weapon Fenrir were ripped by explosions and engulfed in flames. While these images flashed on the screen, the eyes of the press watched as the enraged citizens of Lesath stormed in on commanding officer Diego Navarro. When the rage of the thousands had finally subsided, it is said that there was nothing left but the shattered remains of Fenrir. It's ironic that the stage for the unveiling of his greatest triumph would be his ultimate undoing. When it was all over, I tried to get an interview with the Southern Cross, only to find that he had already returned to Cape Aubrey.
He said he's never really liked hot weather.
Eugene Solano, the young radio operator, answered sheepishly. Peace had returned to Griswold, and it was now covered in the colors of the Christmas season. I went ahead and bought myself a figure of Santa, the kind that I could only find here.
Albert, I thought you couldn't stand the Southern Hemisphere.
A fellow reporter said to me as he saw the Santa figure, a memento of this Southern Hemisphere of backward seasons. I like the design, I said as I embarrassingly showed it to him. It bore the emblem of the Southern Cross.